Welcome to Live with Leslie. I'm Jeff Harris along with our host.
Leslie Spoor.
Actually, I should say your star. I get to be the
I was
host.
going to say you're the
Yeah,
host.
I'm the
not
host. Yeah, the star, Leslie.
I'm the talent.
That's a talent. She's a talent. Trust me, if you just seen what's going on before we started, you realize she's the talent because nobody, the hair fluffing, the makeup,
Right.
all that stuff, the clothing, it's crazy. So what's going on this week, Leslie?
Oh, I don't know.
Just lots of fun?
It's been busy, but the weather cooled off, so that was nice.
New clients this week?
Not this week. I know. Not
Uh-oh.
this week.
That's okay. That just means
But we
there's
have a lot of new projects, which is good.
Like what?
Remodeling projects and
Oh, for clients?
epoxying garage floors. Yeah, for clients. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Oh,
Wow.
and new stuff for this too. I get calls on the concierge business solution stuff, but I was actually talking about the lifestyle management projects.
Cool. That's executive errands.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if this is the first time you've been here, it makes no sense what she's talking about. Basically, she's a serial entrepreneur and she's a coach and a mentor. She has two businesses plus one is a software business, so it's software as a solution. We call it a SaaS, and that's what it is.
SaaS?
Yeah, software as a solution.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, that's a whole business out there. In other words, she just sells software as a solution, but you actually created that whole software
I did. Yeah.
piece, yeah.
I didn't do the programming, but I wrote the logic for somebody else to do the
Yeah,
programming.
that these steps have to go to and make it do this.
Yeah, it's a very complex data collection system, but it looks super easy on the user end of it, but it's very complex in the background.
Cool. That's what we like is easy on the front end.
Yeah, easy on the front end.
Busy on the back end. We don't care about that. So today,
I started thinking about mullets because it's party in the back.
yeah, like if this is the first time you've been here, you see this is typical. This is normal. We can go down some really strange trails, but really the reason we're here is because Leslie, she'll share with us really business ideas, tips to make your business more successful, and really, as she calls it, to keep you on the happy path.
Happy path through your business, and so that you can use these tips right away.
You don't have to let them marinate.
Don't let them marinate.
Okay.
I'm hoping that I give you information that you can take and use today to make your business better.
Yeah, like in the past, we talked about, how if you're unsure about what the next step is, how important numbers are in your business and collecting the data and let that data, because the data never lies. And that really helps you no matter, sometimes it's like, oh, my gut feeling says this. Well, the data proves this and there's a historical data trail that you should do this. We talked about things like that. Today, we're going to talk about
how to create a business other people want or want to use.
Okay. When I first saw that, I said, why would I want to make a business? I thought we were going to talk about selling my business or something. Make a business that somebody else would want. You're talking about make a business that someone else would say, hey, I need plastic bottles for. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because when you go to create a business, you never know if what you're doing is something that's valuable, will be perceived as valuable by somebody else, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're providing a service or you're doing a product, you still don't know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's some tried and true things. Hamburger joints work pretty well these days.
That's it.
Right? There's all kinds, hair salons,
yogurt shops,
and I'm trying to think of automotive repair. There's all kinds of things that are tried and true. But what if you have? How do you separate yourself from other people, and how do you get people to want other clients or to perceive you as the company to come to? That's the topic for today.
I may take more notes today.
You take notes every week.
I do. I can look at the tape when we're done. So tell us about it.
I did get you to clean your desk off.
My desk was clean. It's still clean. It's still very clean. It's if you went there today, it is cleared off. And she talked about clutter and how important that is, only touching it once. And sometimes now if I think, and I'll go, nope, take care of it now. And you know what? It actually has reduced the stress.
I think it does.
Yeah, I think it has.
Does. If you touch, my rule is a touch. Oh, what? What happened?
Connection with this. Check your connection with the internet and try again.
We got a bad internet connection? So we got a bad internet connection?
It seems like we have trouble every time we try to do YouTube at the same time.
We did it last week, it was okay.
Was it? It probably needs to be rebooted. It's been having trouble. There's a retrograde going on. That means all electronics don't work. I forgot what I was just talking about. Hmm?
We're back.
We're back? Yeah, it was just a hiccup. Okay, so if you just felt that the video stopped in the middle, or the live presentation stopped in the middle, our lovely internet service provider hiccuped and slowed us down for a minute, but I think we're back now.
It was a technical earthquake.
Yeah,
It's a little tremor, but we're back.
yeah. Can't count on the ISP at all.
That's right. So you're talking about utilizing things to say, hey, this makes your business more desirable.
Yeah. What can you do to encourage people to see value in what you do? That's really.
So is this Leslie? Let's say, for instance, if I've already decided to have a business, then I can take what you're telling me and say, okay, let's jazz it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not before I start, or I could use it both ways.
Both ways.
Okay.
If you're already in business, these tips will help you maybe refine some of what you're doing. Maybe you haven't thought of these things, and that will help you further yourself down the path. If you're thinking about just starting a business right now, then these definitely need to be considered before you choose. It took me a long time actually to decide what kind of business to start for the first one.
Yeah.
I couldn't make up my mind what I wanted to do, you know. And I hit on executive errands because I used to work on the road, and so I saw value in people helping me when I couldn't do things. And so it turned out I was ahead of the curve as far as society is concerned. Took a while for society to catch up and say, oh yeah, this is a good thing. But now everybody outsources most of their stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it was definitely, there was value in it.
I like that. Do you think that's pretty common for a lot of people, especially people with entrepreneurial minds? Is a new business is formed out of an experience they've had, and they had to create the solution and realize, wait a minute, I'm not the only one that's like this. But they feel like they're the only one until they actually start talking to me and say, oh yeah, I needed that but myself. I needed this. All of a sudden they create a business.
Yeah, and that's true for products. That's true for services. That's true for pretty much anything that you're in business for. But we're going to talk about it.
Cool. Let's dive in. So you got 8 topics today. It's a long ways until I get to my.
Last week. What happened to the 4? I liked it when it was just 4.
My favorite number is 3, but hey, 8.
Well,
Okay.
And we're working backwards, so you need to stay to the end of the video to hear the most important one.
The top 8.
So the first thing that I want to talk about is, what do you like to do? If you're trying to decide what kind of business to create, or if you've started one but you're struggling with it a little bit, you need to look at, what do you like to do? What are you passionate about? What kind of hobbies do you have? Because if you take one of those and incorporate it either completely or partially into what you're doing for your company, it makes the work a lot less tedious. You know, it's more fun to go to work when you're doing something you really enjoy. The key, though, is to determine whether, say you have a hobby doing, I don't know, I can't think of something off the top of my head, doing anything. Is it sustainable? Is it subject to growth? You know, how can you make it bigger?
Is there a market out there?
Yeah, is there a market for it?
Okay.
I was thinking, for some reason, stained glass is in my head. So if you're really good as a hobby at stained glass, that's a good product to make and sell. But how are you going to grow the business, and where are you going to market it? And if you're really big about it and you get into churches, right, you could have a great career doing stained glass for churches. But if you're doing it for decorative window hangings, that might be a little bit more challenging. So you have to look at what you do and how you can grow that into a business.
Gotcha. Good. I like that. So find your passion, but make sure it's sustainable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure it fits.
Okay.
In there. And then the next one is, what kind of experience do you have? Have you done this kind of work before? Have you created a product before? Do you know how to take a product to market? A lot of people work for other people doing something and then find that they decide they want to go off and do their own version of that. That happens all the time. It's very, very common. So you want to look at what kind of experience you have and what kind of skill sets you have. Maybe you've worked with a charity and you help them with their bookkeeping, right? And so you learned how to do books really well, so now you want to turn that into a business for yourself. Maybe you plan events for somebody, and so event planning may be something you want to go into. Maybe you worked at an auto mechanic and now you wanted to start your own business, right? So you need to look at what experience you already have, coupled with what you like to do, will help you choose the business you want, or help existing business you've already started to be more successful?
You know, and I want to get your take on this because, you know, there was a day when, you know, like when our parents were at that age and they were in their career, it wasn't uncommon for that parent to say, okay, they worked for that same company for 30 years, they got to go watch, they retired, right? So they learned a skill set.
Right.
And now, I mean, as you're saying, I'm going, wow, what are my skills? And I'm like, there's a lot there, right? So it's like, exactly what do they do? And now the kids growing up now, I think they say they will change. They will have, I think they said 7 careers, not jobs, careers in their lifetime. So how do you decide, like, what am I going to do? Because all paths are possible.
Right. Let me give you a kind of a quick example, okay? When I worked in private industry the last 10 years, I was a consultant all over the country, helping companies be more profitable, you know, business process engineering and that sort of stuff. So as a project manager for those kinds of projects, I was doing schedules and budgets and planning and dovetailing of activities and shortages and all that sort of thing. Leading people, you know, those were my core skills.
Okay.
Then when I went to start my own business, and that was an operations manufacturing, we made widgets, right? Now I'm doing a service-based company in executive errands, but what do? I have schedules, I have budgets, I have clients, just like I did in my consulting career. I lead people, so I have the same skill set, but it's a completely disparate industry. I mean, one's a totally service-based business, and one was manufacturing.
Yeah.
So you can take the skills that you learn and apply them in a different way. Trying to decide which path to go down, though, is where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I say if you couple that experience with something you really like if I wish I had thought, there's 2 careers I wish I would have had. Okay? One of them is teaching, because I absolutely love teaching people, and I love the look they get in their eye when you can convey a concept so that they get it.
Yeah.
Right? I love that. So rewarding. The other one is travel agent, because I absolutely love to
She
travel.
loves packing.
I worked on the road for 10 years. I'm a good packer. But I love traveling. Absolutely love it. And I wish I could do more of it. So travel agent would have been good for me, because then you get to go do all that stuff and try out new hotels and new locations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but again, you have to look at what skills you have and how they translate. If you are a great photographer and you love to travel, then maybe you want a job as a videographer. Is that right? Travel
Photographer?
Yeah.
Travel photography?
Like they do for National Geographic.
There you go.
Or something like that, or
Yep.
Time Magazine or something like that. Then you get to combine both of the things you love and you're good at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just have to look. My grandson is trying to find his way and decide what he wants to do, and the only thing he's passionate about is basketball. So I said, why don't you look at athletic, you know, God, my brain just went dead.
Another technical earthquake?
This is not an ISP hiccup. This is a brain hiccup. Where you do, when people have physical therapy.
Okay.
Sports medicine. That's what I was trying to look for. If he went into sports medicine or at least physical therapy, he could work with basketball teams and be close to the sport that he loves, but not necessarily play.
Gotcha.
So it isn't always the immediate, I need to be a basketball player, but I'm only 4'3", right? It's what other industries support basketball so that how can I use my skills?
Gotcha.
Right?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So the third one then is, what education do you have? Because you don't need to have a college degree necessarily to start a business. How many people, super big people, have you heard about started a business, dropped out of college and started a business?
Right.
Now, I'm a huge advocate for school, so don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But education comes in lots of different forms, right? Don't discount your street smarts. That's really important.
Yep.
Common sense is incredibly important when you start a business for yourself. So what kind of education and training do you have? Do you have certifications? I have a certification in operations management. I have a certification in supervision. I carry several different kinds of certifications. So what do you have already that you can apply to your business in the beginning or after you've been in business for a while, right? all of that's really important. You don't want to try to go it alone on these businesses if you have old experience, or I mean not experience, training, or haven't had any recent, any at all. You want to find somebody to help you. There is absolutely no reason in this day and age to try to do everything from scratch. Never. Right?
I like that.
Right?
It's like a Pop-Tart. I just pull it out and put it in the toaster and it's ready to go. I have to make all the stuff.
Did you have to say Pop-Tarts?
Oh, sorry.
It's the 3 o'clock sleeping hour. That's the time where you need a little pep.
I don't know why that just popped into my head, but
Pop
Pause
into
for
your
a
head.
second.
Pause.
You hit okay?
Are we back?
did our green on?
You sure did.
I don't know what it is about the internet today, but it does not want to work. So we apologize for the technical difficulties.
That's live.
That's what you get when you get live.
Yep.
So back to education, you really want to have continuing education all through your career, all through your adulthood. It doesn't matter whether you work for somebody else or you start your own business. You really do need to take advantage because technology is constantly changing. Social media is constantly changing. Ways to market are constantly changing. So you really want to keep current with as much as you can.
Yeah,
Right.
I see that all the time. Like for us in our business, Tuesdays are heavy education days. I mean, literally, we have a 9 to 10, we have an 11 to 1, and then a 3 to 4:30
Wow.
every Tuesday. And then I ended up jumping on another call at 5 o'clock last night. So it was a very heavy day, and my brain was like worn out. But I'll tell you what, it's great stuff. It's always keeping us fresh because, like you said, it's especially in what we do is always changing.
Well, yeah, because the video taping or recording, it's not taping anymore, that you do is heavy into technology, which is another reason why sometimes we have hiccups with the process, because it's all internet dependent.
Well, I mean, I literally, not to take us too far, Chuck, but I literally, every time I go out and we do a live shot, I realize we have something about the size of a small suitcase that carries a lot of the gear, a camera, and a wireless connection, and we've got really a TV station in our hand. So there's no reason. So that's a really different. I don't have to, you see the big trucks in the park on the street. You don't have that anymore. It's all in a suitcase.
You said the television in your hand, television station. Give you a quick piece of trivia. It was 38 years from the time the concept of television to the commercial selling of television.
Wow.
38 years. Today, it's not 38 seconds. Something new comes out.
Yeah, we freak out because we just lost the signal, right?
Right,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, geez, but it's just, yeah.
It's always changing. I know it.
Yeah.
The next one is, what is your order winner? And by that I mean, what sets you apart from somebody else who's doing the same thing that you're doing? This is really important, especially when you already have started your business, because you need to understand what the competition is doing, how that compares to what you're doing, what's going to set you apart and make you unique from somebody who's doing the same thing. I mean, I always go back to the hamburger example, but I could list a half a dozen different popular hamburger joints, but they all have different things about them. And so sometimes you're in the mood for this one, and sometimes you're in the mood for that one, and so we all frequent all different ones, right? So everybody has something that differentiates them from similar competitors, but you need to identify what that is and leverage that so that your potential clients and customers will see the value that you see.
Well, for a long time, it's exactly what you said. It just triggers that thought in my head. It said, people don't buy because of similarities, you buy because of differences.
Right.
So knowing your competition as well as they know their product, and then knowing what sets you apart, and you feature,
Right.
like you said, feature that
Right.
makes you stand out in the crowd.
Right, and it's not quality anymore because quality is expected. It used to be, and at least in my history of being in business, that if you did good quality services, it made a difference for you. Today, quality is expected, so you don't have a choice. You have to provide good quality services, and that will not set you apart in and of itself. Out here, I'm fortunate in that it does set me apart from other people who say they do what we do, because a lot of the people that are out here don't have good quality. You know how it is. It's a
Sure.
resort area. People don't show up. They don't call back. So just doing those two things sets you apart from other people.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Right. So you need to study your competition and figure out what you can do to set yourself different.
I love that.
Okay.
Setting yourself apart.
Yep. Okay, the fourth one, which working backwards again, is does technology matter? And yes, it does. Absolutely does. You must, in this day and age, streamline your business operations so that you take advantage of technology that will make you A, more profitable, but B, desirable for your clients. I still have some vendors who don't do email or only fax invoices.
That's crazy.
I know. I mean,
They just refuse. I think of the three things like the rock, taffy, or water. And by that I mean they're a rock. They're just refusing to change, right? And the world is still changing around them. Wow, that's wild.
yeah, it's amazing. And I have people, I have consulting clients that I work with who don't have a financial system to use. You know, they're taking a picture of a handwritten invoice and sending that picture, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, there's so many options out there that even the person with the least amount of accounting understanding can still find a way to use a professional system.
Totally.
Right? So technology matters. You absolutely need something that will set you, and this helps set you apart also from your competitors, because the slicker, shinier, more technologically savvy you are, the better people like it. Right? That's our expectation today, that people are on top of technology. And if you aren't, if you're one of those people, and I have friends even in our age group, I think I'm a lot older than you, but in our age group, that that aren't technologically savvy, that don't even know how to turn on their cell phone barely, go out and get the education for that you need. It is worth it. Every penny you spend on education absolutely triples back to you, or
Totally.
quadruples back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, number 3 is, what problem are you solving? Right?
Well, I'm surprised that, that's right. We're getting to the
We're
most
working
important. Oh, that's right. I'm like,
backwards.
wow, that was way down the list, but actually it's close to the top.
It's close to the top. Yeah. And actually this probably should be number 2 instead of number 3, but what problem are you solving with your business? What is your product? If you're doing products, widgets, what does it do for somebody? If you're doing services, what need are you filling? Because it doesn't matter whether you're doing widgets or you're doing service, you're still providing, a service is still a product in my mind.
Sure.
Right? It may just be time, but it's still, that's the most valuable commodity.
Can't replace it.
Yeah, you can't replace it. Once it's gone, it's gone.
So-
And I deal in time, as you know, but whatever your product is, what problem is it solving? And then you leverage that. That's part of your key marketing effort, right? That sets you apart. That gives you something to market. It shows value. All those things help you bring in more business, make your company more valuable, and are able to hit home quicker. Perception of value is everything. Okay. A lot of people don't understand that, and I was trying to come up earlier with a really good example of it. And the only way I can describe it for you well is to say, if you walk into a store, you're shopping, and you see something and you think, oh, I'd really like to have that, but you know, it's okay. And then you see another thing and it's like, I don't even care what that costs. I'm taking that home. That's a perception of value.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the I have to have it. And that's the feeling you want to create with your business. You want people to think, I need that service. I want to use that service.
Well, I mean, as an example, I mean, I look around in your home/office and I see that, I don't know, 90-inch television. I'm like, do you have
70.
is that something you have to have?
No, but I wanted it.
But you wanted it. So it gave something to you that a 48-inch would not, right?
Yeah, I had a 48 before that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't know that, but I really thought it was 90. It's like the whole flipping wall, but yeah, it's as tall as I am. But anyway, so with that, if let's say for instance, if I'm selling light bulbs, I wouldn't tell you how the filament is made, and I would tell you what it gives you. It takes a darkness, or it puts the right shadows, or something.
Or it lasts, 10 years versus a month. These new, just use your light bulb
LED?
examples. The LEDs, they don't cost as much to run. They last forever.
They don't heat up.
Once upon a time, I tested LEDs for part of my job.
Oh, you
It's
did?
the most boring thing in the whole world. Yeah, I was only 17. It was horrible.
Hmm.
But that would be a perception of value.
Okay.
Especially people, because if you ever go to, in your example, if you ever go to buy light bulbs, there are
Hmm.
hundreds of configurations and small bases and standard bases and large bases and floodlights and incandescent lights and daylight, and there's all these different colors and sizes and wattages, and so it gets a little intimidating to buy a stupid light bulb.
You walk out and you have buyer's remorse because you're not sure, is that the one I should have bought?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so if you're selling light bulbs, then you want to find a way to differentiate yourself. So saying that that they last a really long time or they don't cost anything to run hardly helps. And then if you could come up with a standard one, that'd be ideal. I would buy them all. They're so frustrating.
That would be a bright idea.
Oh, God, his jokes are bad. I'm so sorry. I really
Sorry.
apologize for his jokes.
Sorry.
So the problem that you're solving is a big deal. And if you can't find a problem, it's okay to create one, right?
I think didn't Henry Ford create the problem?
Which one?
He built cars.
Yes.
He said if he had asked his customers what they want, they said they want a faster horse. They didn't want a car,
Right.
right? So he created the problem. He created a solution for a problem that didn't exist.
Well, that was me too. On the lifestyle management
Exactly.
service, that problem that didn't exist when I started. It took 3 years. We got clients pretty quickly, but it took 3 years of active marketing and education to get people to understand what it was, why we were doing it, where the value was for them, and then society started to change, and it was just like a steamroller at that point for everybody across the country, not just me. So you can create a solution to an imaginary problem. Do you know that, another piece of trivia, that people used to live in small towns and they walked a lot and they took their horses and they did whatnot, but there weren't suburbs like we're familiar with today. There wasn't urban sprawl. The car allowed that to happen. It was the automobile that allowed cities to expand and allow people to live outside of the town environment.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's all I got. I didn't know that.
You didn't care about that anyway. Okay.
I thought that was a good idea. That was a good story.
Okay. Number 2, which is right here at the top. Does geography or seasonality matter?
Oh, yeah.
And it absolutely does. I love Christmas. Okay, it's one of my most favorite holidays. I have half a shed full of Christmas stuff.
That's a big shed, folks. I've seen it.
It is. If you're going to create a Christmas business, what are you going to do the other 10 months of the year?
Yeah.
Right? I like Christmas in July also. So maybe you're only doing 9 extra months a year, but you have to think about that. If you sell beach balls, they're not going to go over very well in Canada, most likely, right? Are we hiccuping again? Can you fix this later? Okay.
So if you're selling beach balls in Canada?
Yeah, if you're selling beach balls in Canada, it doesn't really make much sense, right? Or if you're selling HVAC systems in Canada, for example, I don't think they even have air conditioning if they're very little of it anyway, because it doesn't get warm enough to warrant it. So you really want to look at, where do you live, what seasonality is in your area. That's the reason that you see department stores selling winter stuff in summer and summer stuff in the winter. It was because they're trying to get in front of the season.
Gotcha.
And get the purchases before the season. Unfortunately, human nature is we aren't interested in buying winter coats when it's 115 degrees outside.
True.
Right?
That's right.
And so it's unique here. For us, we're busy in the lifestyle management business all year round, but our lightest months are February and March. I know this by the data and following the trends over the years, because February and March are the busiest times for events out here. Coachella, the tennis tournament, the fashion week, all the big events happen in February and March. So people are here, they're focused on that and not on what we're doing. And so, that's our slower time. We're still busy, but slower than the rest of the year.
Right.
So you need to understand that about your business so that you can take that into consideration when you're setting it up and what you're selling and how you're doing it.
That makes sense. I
Right.
remember when I first moved here, Leslie, now it's almost been 20 years ago. In fact, it is 20 years ago this year, that when I first came, there were 200,000 people lived in the desert, or 250,000. Now it's about 420,000 people.
At peak or at off
No,
season?
off season. These are
Wow,
year-round
that's good. I
residents.
didn't realize that.
So it's grown tremendously. So I would hear people say, "Yeah, but the season it's so hard to make it outside the season." I'm like, if you can't do it with 420,000 people, you're in trouble. So what I've noticed, and what you've just said, is the seasonality of the desert has changed tremendously.
Yeah, it has I've been
It's-
here 11 years, and
yeah.
it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
So, but you have to look at your own area, right?
Your own product or
Your
service.
own product
oh,
and
gotcha.
services
Gotcha.
versus where you're going to sell them, and the seasonality of that. And a lot of time that takes a couple of years to figure out. I mean, you can get an initial idea that it probably isn't a good idea to sell mittens in Florida, but but maybe you want to do it on the internet.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Live in Florida and sell them on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
The Canadians.
To Canadians, yeah.
Eh?
I love Canadians. So
I do
don't-
too.
So we don't want to say that.
The
Okay.
exchange is a little weird, but yeah.
Okay.
Number one.
Number one, you got to do the.
Okay.
Who are you going to sell to?
Geez, we're having so much fun until that. I mean, humans?
Humans. Yeah. Androids.
Yes.
Yes. No. This goes back to your target ideal client. Everything always goes back to your target ideal client. You can't market effectively if you don't know who you want to sell to. And developing your business, the product line, the service suite, whatever you're doing is dependent upon who you're going to sell it to. And you cannot be all things to all people. You absolutely cannot. Okay, it's impossible because if you dilute, and actually my newsletter next week is all about this topic. Okay, so if you dilute your attention to the point where you're just doing so many different things that you won't be able to be effective, you won't be able to be profitable. Next week is about shiny objects.
BSOs.
Yeah, pick a lane.
Bright, shiny objects.
So you need to know who you're selling to, what demographic are they, what's their income level, what are their lifestyle habits, and you can get all that information online. Everything is available these days. You just have to know where to go to get it. If you need help with that, something I can help you with, or maybe you know somebody who knows how to do that. But definitely you need to identify who your ideal client is. So combining all of these together helps you either determine what kind of business to start or how to refine your existing business so that you can market it properly so you can bring those clients in faster.
So like as an example, just to kind of, because my mind's always working when you're talking about this, so it might be one of those things that said, geez, you know what, I've done all of these except I've missed that first part of who my target market is. So I've got a great widget or I've got a great service, but it's just not selling. I might look and say, well, wait a second. That's because I'm trying to sell it to the wrong market.
Exactly.
The wrong people.
Exactly.
And that could change the whole thing.
Right, absolutely. And it can also, you could try, some people make the mistake of trying to sell to two demographics. I thought about that in the beginning, right? You've got, our target market is upper end baby boomers. That's our basic market. That's where I started from the very beginning. I knew that.
Still there.
Still there.
Okay.
But I went through a period of time in the early years thinking that, there's so many people on like fixed incomes and lower position, I don't want to say position, but you know what I mean, the lower income level that could benefit from our services. And I thought, how can I service them as well? And then I thought, well, you'd have to have a different price point for that. Well, you can't sell your products at two different levels because the lower level is going to be happy because they're getting a higher level product, but the higher level people are not going to be happy. You cannot sell the same quality services for less money to somebody else. You just can't. So we didn't deviate from our initial target market, and we haven't to this day, and it's part of why we're successful. But you have to know who they are to begin with, because you can't even make that decision if you don't know. So I run across people all the time through the consulting business where they're trying to be too much to too many people, and you really need to narrow that focus and understand exactly who your person is, and then you got to wait for them. I used to get calls in the beginning when we didn't have a lot of clients. I'd get calls and people, and I knew right away that they weren't our target client, and I would have to say no.
Wow.
I'd say, I'm sorry, this isn't the best fit for you. Or I would tell them what we charge, and that would run them off because they weren't the right client.
Right.
And you can't be so desperate to get your business off the ground that you take the wrong clients. You must wait for the right ones.
Because it's painful to get rid of them at the end. Because
it's not a case of getting rid of them. It's that your business may go in a direction that isn't where you wanted it to go, right? If you have to know, this is not on the list, but you also have to know where you're going to be in 5 or 10 years with your business. And that factors into who your ideal client is. And if you don't take that into consideration, you may not end up out here, right? It's okay to service those people. There's great companies all over the place that service fixed income seniors and retirement home folks and that sort of thing. And they're profitable and good, and it's value-added service. But you need to know if that's your market, or is this your market, or is this your market. You have to know what market you're going at.
Makes sense.
Right?
Well, Leslie, this has been fantastic. This came from somewhere, because this was really a good topic. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I didn't take notes, but I did take mental notes. Where did you gather this stuff, this information?
Today's presentation is a subset of a webinar called Business Models and Specialties that's available on our website. I just took one of the slides and expanded on it a little bit more than what was there. Or actually, it's probably, when I talk to it, it's probably all there. But there's a bunch of other topics in there, including what do you do if you need to rebrand your business, and how do you market different brands. So you want to, if you are interested in this topic today and you want to learn more about it, download our webinar on Concierge Business Solutions that's called Business Models and Specialties, and that will expand on this.
And that dovetails right into one of those where I said, hey, keep learning. ABL, always be learning. And because things are always changing. And even if it's something that you already know how to do, it's like sharpening that edge again. It's like if I think of a skater, an ice skater, they don't just get that one set of blades and they never sharpen it. But it could be the same blade, but they're keeping their edges sharp so they can perform better. I think we need to do the same thing. So go to it. I think it's probably on the page right now, conciergebusinesssolutions.com, and then go to the which tab?
Education and training tab. There's one that says webinars right there. There's 10 webinars out there right now. And I tell everybody too that if you have a topic or a question and we don't have a webinar that covers it, if you email me that question and I turn it into a webinar, you get it for free. So that's a pretty good deal.
How good is that?
I love to take questions. I love doing the webinars because it gives you so much information for such an affordable price. That's the big thing. Because when you're one-on-one consulting, you're in one area, and if you can get a lot of the same information in a condensed format, that's a more cost-effective boost. So if you're trying to get your business off the ground and your funds are limited, that's a great way to go.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who are not aware, you've heard Leslie say she does consulting. She does that basically mentoring and consulting for you as an individual or business owner. Right. And you can get a hold of her at info@conciergebusinesssolutions.com. I'm not sure if that's on the screen there. Amy's going to give me the nudge. It's on there. But info@conciergebusinesssolutions.com. Ask her what to do because you mentor people all over the country, don't you?
All over the country, yeah. And it's fun to do because if you got if only one of these 8 made a difference for you today, it was worth it for me to do this, to take the time to do this, right?
And sometimes that's the case. I mean, I can't tell you how many hundreds of seminars I've been to in my life, and sometimes it's like, God, I'm not getting anything out of that. But then all of a sudden, just one thing, and that one thing might have been a $100,000 thing. Right. And those other 7 hours and 40 minutes that I sat there just prep me for that. So be aware of that. So check that out. That's at conciergebusinesssolutions.com. Check out her webinars. And if you need some help, more one-on-one with Leslie, check her out at info@conciergebusinesssolutions.com. Right. And you can follow her on Facebook,
Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere.
She's very social.
Oh, YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you'll see me dancing for a charity thing. It's really just so-so.
I better go watch that. I might have to comment on that one.
We actually won. So
okay, there you go.
Good enough.
All right, so it's Dancing with the Starlets.
It was Dancing with the Stars, but the charity for out here, not for the TV.
I love it. I love it. Well, Leslie, thank you so much. This was a great give back. It was packed with information. And for those of you who maybe are, like you said, struggling with your business right now, maybe check those 8 points out and say, gosh, this is how I can redo my business because it's something I'm loving. I'm passionate about it, but maybe you're missing your mark. Maybe you're not setting yourself apart. Maybe you're not getting the right target market. That could make the difference. And I just want to thank you for joining us. Leslie, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. I love to do this, so I'm here to help you.
So this is every Wednesday, 3 o'clock, right here on Facebook and or YouTube. And if you want to catch it later, if this is you're seeing it as a recorded version, you can see it on Facebook and or YouTube as well. My name is Jeff Harrison.
I'm Leslie Spoor.
And you've been with us at Live with Leslie. We'll see you next Wednesday.